guys, welcome back to Cruise Blog. It's Allie, and today we're going to be covering a very hot topic: how to beat the chair hogs on your cruise ship. There's nothing quite as annoying as heading up to the lido deck on a sea day of your cruise just to find empty chairs claimed by towels. Nicknamed chair hogs, these individuals will leave their belongings on one or more chairs near the pool in order to try to reserve them for later use. Rather than use the chairs in that moment, these people will do other things on board, such as eat breakfast, return to their stateroom, go to the gym, etc. Most cruise lines try and limit this practice by monitoring which chairs are being actively used, but there is only so much that they can do. So here are some tips and tricks to beating the chair hogs on your next cruise. And note that we do not recommend putting yourself in a position where you could get involved in any sort of altercation with other guests. While many cruise lines state that chair hogging is against their rules, do not put yourself in a position to enforce it yourself. If you move someone's belongings and they return to that chair later, you might find yourself with a vacation memory that you would rather forget. So first, get up early. As long as you get to the lido deck at some point during the morning, you will usually be able to snag a couple of chairs for you and your travel party. If you have a preference in location, I would aim for sometime before 10 a.m. If you don't really care, you should be okay and find something if you go up there around 11 a.m. or so. The earlier that you head up to the buffet to grab a bite to eat and then you go outside, the better. If you're worried about oversleeping, consider retiring a little early that night before. Plus, the buffet tends to get more crowded later in the morning as well. You're only doing yourself a favor by getting going a little bit early. You might be a night owl though, and since it's your vacation, you should adhere to whatever sleep schedule you want. And in that case, your next best option is to wait the chair hogs out. Those who have spent all day up in the lido deck start to slowly leave the pool in order to prepare for dinner or their evening plans somewhere around 4 p.m. If you want to spend the majority of your sea day by the pool, then you will want to get up early and claim a chair, but otherwise you can find some opening up around dinner time. In this case, you'll want to plan for a later traditional dining time, but you'll probably be able to watch the sunset from the top deck. Next, return to the ship early on port days. If you're on a budget or you've visited a port before, you may consider staying on board to utilize the ship's amenities. There's always something new to explore, so you should research the port to see what you may have missed the last time. Plus, you can often find cheaper excursions through third-party operators. In other words, don't stay on board all day. Find something to explore and return to the ship a little bit earlier. You'll still find plenty of pool chairs and fewer crowds on the lido deck, and you'll be able to talk about what you did during the morning while ashore. Another tip is to look elsewhere for lounge chairs. If you explore away from the pool, you will usually find lots of available chairs. On a recent cruise on board Freedom of the Seas, for instance, I did not visit the flow rider until later in the afternoon, which was my sailing's only sea day. I found an entire deck of lounge chairs that had an incredible aft view that was virtually empty. While there was noise trickling down from the sports court and surf simulator, it was no more noise than there was at the pool. While this means you might not have a pool view, you might have a better ocean view than you thought. Plus, unless you're planning to spend all day at the pool, this really doesn't matter too much. You'll be able to lay out in the sun and read a book, nap, or just enjoy the company of those you're traveling with. Next, you could book a suite that gives you the ship within a ship perks and benefits. Some cruise lines offer private sun decks for those who are staying in a suite. This reserved area typically has plenty of lounge chairs available throughout the day, meaning you can head up to the deck at your leisure without feeling rushed in the morning. Consider splurging on a suite on a ship that has a ship within a ship concept, such as Norwegian Cruise Line's The Haven or MSC's Yacht Club. Sometimes these sun decks will even have their own pool, making them a great way to escape the typical crowds that you can expect to encounter on a beautiful sea day. You may even get perks like priority boarding, exclusive suite-only restaurants, and more. In other words, booking a suite comes with more than just a private sun deck. This, of course, is going to be the most expensive option, and not everybody will be able to book a suite to avoid the chair hogs. Next, remember that there's so much to do and see on a cruise ship, so you won't ever be bored. Don't get discouraged if you are unable to snag a prime lounge chair on a sea day. In fact, there are so many other things that you can do on a cruise. Check out your ship's daily schedule, and maybe you'll be able to find an activity that you would rather do, one that you possibly can't even do on land. Ships offer things like cooking and dance classes, dedicated youth programming, alcohol tastings, trivia, and more. Depending on what ship you're on, you might even be able to go ice skating, race against your friends on a go-kart track, test your bravery on the ropes course, or play a round of mini golf. So as long as you're flexible with your plans, you'll get your pool time in, I promise. You may even find it more enjoyable if you wait until the lido deck clears out later in the day, and like I said, then you can watch the sunset from the top deck, and that is a quintessential cruising memory. All right, everybody, that's all we have today for how you can beat the chair hogs on your next cruise. Comment below if you have a winning strategy for how you beat the chair hogs, and be sure to like and subscribe to Cruise Blog so you can be notified every time we have a new video. Thanks for tuning in today, everybody, and have a great day. Happy cruising!